So I want to start, a lot of you guys actually have met me before in different contexts. I'm Steve McKenna. I direct the Rehab Trauma Center at Valley, so I've taken care of the people who have the ventilator-dependent spinal cord injuries when they start for the last 10 years, give or take. I wanted to give Robert a hand. We can all just give Robert a hand. Yeah, he's really stepped up to keep this program alive. Rich was really a mentor and a role model for a lot of us, and it's great to see everybody actually making it here for the presentation today. For the people who knew Dr. Nguyen, anybody remember Dr. Mark Nguyen? He was one of the physicians at Valley. Yeah, so he's retired, moved on, something like that. He's at Kaiser now. So somebody was mentioning this question, asking, are there any resources in the Bay Area, sort of closer? So he's at Kaiser Santa Clara now, and I don't know if he's he's doing a musculoskeletal clinic. So a lot of the things that Dr. Pence was just talking about. So there might be access in the Bay Area if you have Kaiser in the southern area to a spinal cord really, expert, right? Because Kaiser hasn't had that. I mean, it's a loss for us, but it's a gain for the community. And then I also wanted to give Dr. Pence a hand. Go ahead and stand up, Tim. Tim's been a star in the Stanford residency program. I had the pleasure of working with him when he was coming through, and then had a little bit of sadness around him going to Texas to do his fellowship, which is one of the best programs in the country. He was at the VA and actually won the teaching award at the VA for the residents and the fellows. And now he's just recently joined Valley. So it's really fantastic to have Dr. Pence fill the large shoes of Dr. Nguyen. So thank you, Dr. Pence. Now for today, we're really lucky because we have the team from Berkeley who are currently in a kind of a dual role at a group that's called SuitX. So we've got Stephen and Yoon, Frank and Brad. To give a little bit of background for the work that they're doing, Professor Kazerouni at Berkeley really is I'd say without hyperbole or without sort of making it any bigger than it might sound, he's really the father of this entire technology. I mean, really the reason that we have exoskeletons from a research perspective is because of Professor Kazerouni, and the reason that they made it into production kind of a corporate basis was that he was able to bridge being an incredibly successful professor at Stanford to being a successful, would you call him an entrepreneur? I don't know if that's really the right word, but a businessman, like a leader across the whole field, because this field of spinal cord injury is small enough that we really need people to wear a lot of hats, and he's taken on the challenge of wearing a variety of hats. His original company became Exo, it was Berkeley Bionics, and then Exo. So that's, I guess, the first clinically licensed exoskeleton. And he's taken on a new challenge, which the SuitX team are going to talk to us a little bit about today, which is to really push the technology to the next level, to get it to a point where it's not just a robot kind of walking you around, it's a robot walking with you and potentially working with you, with the variety of different places that you need to go and things that you need to do, with kind of the realities that you're going to face in life. So with that, I'm going to turn it over probably to Steven, and he's going to show you a little bit about it and maybe tell you a little bit about the device they're working on. One thing I also want to say is they're in the process of getting this device FDA approved. They're in the process of starting to enroll people with spinal cord injuries at a variety of different levels to be test pilots for the device. So part of why they're here is to get you guys to know about this, and also to get you to reach out to the people who would be interested in being some of the early pilots for this type of project. So not just us in the room and not just us on the internet, but also reaching out and just making sure that this device gets through the FDA authorization process, because they're going to need a variety of different types of injuries to participate in that. And Fortunately, it's a rare disease, but groups like ours are in a position to really accelerate the process of this technology getting into the community. Okay, so they'll tell you a little bit about that when they get to the end, but I don't want them to be in a position where they have to plug for this. I personally very much believe in CAS, in the group, in the technology, and where they're headed, and they'll tell you a little bit more about it. Yeah? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Oh, did I say Berkeley? Did I say Stanford? Well, I went to Berkeley for undergrad, and I went to Stanford for medical school. So I get my wires crossed. But I was going to say Berkeley was nicer to me, but I don't know if that's true. Yeah.
Thank you, Steve, for that introduction. So I'm working with a company, so background on me really quick, 12 years paralyzed. Actually, I went to Santa Clara for all that fun stuff. Came out wanting to obviously walk, that's the dream for all of us in a sense. I ended up trying stem cell surgery and went all the way to China for that. That was a fun gig. And then after that, did some rehab in Michigan Institute of Rehab in Detroit, actually where the leg braces you see me wearing today is where I had those made 10 years ago. They still fit me today, and I use them with this awesome device that you see sitting next to me over here. Well, all of this device. But so 4 years ago, I got involved with this team at the PhD study level, helping improve the PhD theses and getting the device ready to really bring to the people. Drew and Dr. Perry are both people working under CAS, got their doctorates from CAS Rooney, and they have pushed the limits for sure on what's possible. They have developed this device from the ground up, completely new design, whole new theory of how to what an exoskeleton can truly be. And then a little background on the history. So Steve said it came from Exo. So Exo Bionics, Professor Kazaruni founded that company years ago, and then he decided, let's not make a $100,000 suit that I can't sell to anybody. Let's make a much cheaper suit that makes more sense to be able to get to everybody, because none of us can afford that $100,000 suit, I guarantee you. And none of us, we shouldn't be paying that much money anyways for that kind of technology just so we can get up and walk. That's unreal for me as well. And they have creative knowledge in terms of making very low-cost devices that do the exact same thing as Exo, actually better in my opinion. Not biased, but I've used Exo and I've also used Rewalk. They actually scare me compared to this suit. This suit, once you start seeing it and start watching it move, it's much more controlled by the human aspect. A big thing that I try to say and repeat a lot is I'm not the robot, I wear the robot. So the robot's not controlling me walking, although it is theoretically moving me. I am positioning myself in postures and positions to make me walk and go forward. Without that, the device wouldn't move. And I guess I can go into demonstration. So the device is basically composed of 3 components, which is leg braces, which have no motors on them. What they have here at the knees are basically just really tricky brakes that work when we want them to work and work when we don't need them to work. And then we have this backpack over here. Oops. We have this backpack over here that is comprised of 2 motors at the hips, which is what powers me to walk. And then on the back is your battery and your electronics box. And theoretically, this can work with all sorts of fun different things. Because of modular system it is, we can theoretically put it on all sorts of different disabilities, like a stroke patient, or someone who's an incomplete and only has one side, or maybe they can kind of walk and they just need some help. All sorts of fun stuff. Currently, one of our biggest next projects is starting to work with pediatrics. Because of the device and the scalability of this device, you can just make it smaller And then all of a sudden now kids can wear it. So that's our next level of independence for people. But with this device, it weighs, together with my leg braces, it weighs about 30 pounds. So that's actually pretty much almost half the weight of Exo and Rewalk. It's all custom fit to me. It's not something that I have to fiddle with on my leg braces because I have custom leg braces. The back though can go with and can go taller. We can adjust all that. And then I don't know if you guys brought them today. Did you? Yeah, we do have adjustable leg braces too. So it's not something where you have to have the prosthesis like I have. Although if you do, it makes it better, obviously. But we do have, for everybody who wants to try this device, we have adjustable leg braces that we can just take your measurements and then fit you to our device, and then get the exact same repeatedness that I get. Now this is on my lap, and I don't like this cord. Thank you.
How about that?
Sure. Oh, I can put this on. I like to show people that I can put it on.
Yeah.
Actually, can you hold this? This is like the only thing in my way. Another nice thing about this current device is that compared to Exo or Rewalk or even Indigo, as you know, I'm in my own wheelchair. I have not moved to another chair at all, which all the other ones you have to move to another chair. And depending on your injury level, what level am I? I am a T9, T10. Sorry, I never said that. Thank you. Complete, no spasticity. Yeah, that's about it. I can give you Asia if you want, stuff like that. But and then basically, so that will change at one point, but we're still, so this is, another more history on us. Currently, this is like one of our only suits. We do have a couple others, but this is the newest one we have currently. Like Dr. Steve McKenna said, we're about to start FDA trials. So that means we're about to get a whole bunch of new suits, which will be nice because then we can put a lot more people in them in all over different places. But basically, I'm connecting, what you see me doing here is I'm connecting the small electronic motors that actuate small things. It's not actually pushing me or actuating my need to move, but there is a little bit of actuation down there. I was going to put that on the suit. It's a good little spot for right here. So just to prove more points, I mean, I'm in the suit and pushing in my own chair, which really makes it more of a daily life thing. So at this point, I now can use this in my daily life a whole lot easier than if I had a Rewalk or an Exo, where I'd have to keep that device somewhere else always because it's so heavy that I can't physically move it. Now I can easily move this. I can keep this in the trunk of my car, or wherever I work, I can bring it, or honestly anywhere. It's such a lightweight device. We actually travel with it in a small duffel bag. Well, not small, but it's just a regular rolling duffel bag. And we can take it right on the airplane.
How comfortable is that sitting in your chair?
It's pretty comfortable. I mean, I'm kind of pushed a little bit forward, but if I were to go up like a slope or something, then I'd start kind of feeling off balance. But just pushing around normally, it's not too bad at all, actually. Just a little added weight, that's all. And now it is on. And then we have, so I'll talk more about controls here in a second. Just let me stand up because I like standing much more than I like sitting because it's a much more comfortable posture. Hi. So all of this is being controlled right now by this crutch. I have two buttons on this crutch right here, which basically can only control going forward in commands or going backwards in commands. So currently, I've been constantly just pushing the forward button, and the forward button also is what I use to walk with as well. So basically, I'm only pushing one button this almost the entire time that you see me walking around. And basically, I can control when each step happens and stuff like that. So, and then we always basically keep it alternating. So it's when you do ever use the suit, it'll be left foot first.
Your weight being supported by the...
My complete weight is going through the suit. I feel nothing, so the straps are only here just to keep me from falling out because of my injury level. If I was T12 or lower, having more of a core support, I might not need the straps at all. I would be able to support myself standing in that sense. Another current thing too is my support. You can see that I'm very stable, and that's all through using the leg braces we have with fixed ankles and no movable knee joints. And basically at the hips, there's always current commanded, so it's always going to hold you in that position.
Can you go up a few steps?
No. Yeah, steps are not a priority currently. What more of the...
I can think of one way. I couldn't go on a lot of cruises because that's true that I couldn't step up.
Yeah, but
that would be useful for me and step up 3 or 4 steps.
But the nice thing is the fact that it doesn't weigh very much. So in reality, you can kind of jump a little bit. You know, you can definitely get yourself up if you really wanted to. We've had an old test pilot walk up, get into a public bus, get into his car, sit down in his car with it, walk on some pretty steep hills and slopes. So something with this device is it's much more user-based than really any other device out there. So it's not like I'm putting in more effort than the other suits. It's just more that I can control what's happening more than the other suits. So currently I can control all sorts of things. You know, obviously moving is a whole lot easier than having a 50-pound suit on you where it's really hard to move that. Even though, you know, they claim Exo and Rewalk both claim, oh, the entire weight goes through the suit. Well, that doesn't mean I have to move it. I'm not picking up an extra 50 pounds, which is extremely heavy. And in my opinion, it hurts.
Can you bend your knees?
Can I bend my knees? No. Currently, they're always going to be locked. They're always going to be stuck unless I command a step, and then it bends the knee. So I'll show you how the knee bends, basically, by proving stability in this device. And then we also have lockout mode, so in case if this crutch accidentally drops or someone else comes hit you, it's got like a lockout, so it's not going to just immediately take off, because that would be no fun. So it bends the knee. So, but currently right now, what happens is the knee is basically a free joint, but it can always lock on extension. So if I extend it, it locks, and I cannot bend them at that point. And then we can control when that happens exactly and stuff like that. Do you want to show them the tablet? I can go into this now. So another way this device is actually controlled and customizable is we have a tablet over here that gives you every single entire parameter that you would ever kind of want to change in terms of your gait and your walking. So you can change the way angle you stand at, you can change the step time, you can change all that kind of stuff to get your gait as comfortable as you need it to be. So you can very much tune the system to you. So the gait you see me walking with took us a little bit of time to get to it, but because we didn't really have a base, but now we kind of know what to set things at, and we can give this to a therapist or anything pretty easily and have them understand what's going on, and they'll be able to tune your gait perfectly.
You want to show this bring into that tablet here?
Kind of what? Oh yeah, I can walk all over the place. I can go outside, I can go wherever you want to go. Really the only thing that limits me is stairs, obviously. So stairs are not a priority for us because what the main priority is to move, or just basically stand up and then get some steps going, because that's truly what we all really need. We don't need to go upstairs. It would be nice to go upstairs, but the reality of going up a stair is a very intensive thing to get up. Even for an able-bodied person, it's intensive to get up a stair. So I can go, you can go on some slopes. It all depends on the user. So I've gone outside before, walked up and down curb cutouts and stuff like that. It's just the approach. So it's.
For a long time, just I did race, but did they wear you out?
Not like this. So this is because. So I agree with you in that sense. I learned how to walk in these leg braces without the device, and it's very intensive on your body. You give 150% and you get 2 feet. So it's something that's where I stopped in my personal life, to stop doing that, because it was hurting me at one point. It had the opposite effect of healing my body. I was hurting my body. So I stopped. And then only until I got in touch with these guys that I started doing walking again. Because the amount of load that goes through my body now is, I'm using about, 20-25% on my arms, which is pretty much nothing in my scenario compared to what I used to do walking with leg braces.
How does it compare to pushing a chair?
Pushing a chair, well, it's all sorts of different things. While I'm standing here, like I showed you, it takes me 0 energy to stand here. It's just kind of head balancing, which we're all doing anyways all day long, constantly head balancing. And I can stand here. I mean, I've never timed it, but I've gone 15, 20 minutes not touching the ground with my crutches.
How many hours did you spend getting without equipment?
The amount of hours that took me to get used to this device, I basically had about 5 sessions over the course of about a week when I first started using this device, and picked it up pretty quickly. It's pretty intuitive. It's really easy to use. I consider it, so and in terms of me using the device right now, since SuitX is kind of the only owners of the device, I use it on their time. And with that, there could be weeks in between using the device and actually getting back in it, standing up and walking a couple steps. It's almost like riding a bike, where you kind of start to feel your balance again, you feel it again, and you can just go. And then at that point, it's truly just your endurance level that you can really handle in terms of how long you walk. Because while I'm walking, I'm definitely putting energy in, really just supporting myself side to side. It's something that, I can talk while I walk, so it's not like I'm putting in a crazy amount of energy to do this.
Are there different speeds?
So yeah, we can change the speed level. The question is there different speeds? So with the tablet that I had Brad show you over here, we can change all of that. It all depends on your preference, truly.
Slow, it's enough, and then also pick up your pace, follow them without reprogramming it.
Not currently.
1, level 2, level 3.
Not currently. It's at a set speed currently.
So this is instant though.
But so with the tablet, actually, it's an instantaneous upload, where the second he changes it, it changes me. In between a step, it can do that. So it's instantaneous.
I've had it too.
He's done it before.
Depending on where you put your upper body, you can kind of change the step length. So that is like.
So what Ewan's talking about is where I was saying influence of you personally. I can influence to go slightly faster. I can push the button slightly faster and get more of a reaction out of it. I've walked, in studies, just testing the system, on a treadmill, I got like 0.4, 0.5 miles an hour, which is really fast. So right now, what you see me walk in is about 1.2, 1.3 miles per hour. Much more controlled, much more cautious pace, where I'm not really trying to push my limits, but I'm just trying to actively be healthy. The biggest thing for me with this device in terms of health is mainly relief. Instead of doing a pressure relief, doing that, just sitting up or whatever, or laying down, Standing up is obviously the best alternative, but standing frames suck, so.
Can we walk?
Oh, I can keep walking, yeah.
Oh, dramatic.
So something with this device too, compared to Exo and Rewalk, because they have more actuation, it doesn't look as natural, and it actually doesn't feel as natural either. With this, it feels true like I'm doing more of the walking and not the device.
So this is just activating your hip?
It's basically just, yep, exactly. So what the comment was is it's just actuating my hip, and the natural motion is happening through the gait itself. Pendulum theory is what we call it. One motion creates the other opposite reaction.
Do you have to be able to move your hips?
No, you don't at all have to be able to move your hips. The question was, do you have to be able to move your hips? You don't have to move your hips. The thing, you do have to have range of motion though. You cannot be super stiff and expect any of this to really, do much, because it works a lot on the natural motions of your body. We've noticed with spastic patients that, depending on their spasticity level or how their spasms react to standing up and walking, some spasticity will reside after a while after getting up and standing and walking, and some of it will continuously just fight. The ones that just fight, we still don't really have an answer to, just because of how we're using more of the free motion dynamic that your leg can naturally generate.
This would be for everybody. I mean, certain parameters or certain things that they play, it might not be the best for you to be doing this, or.
So right now the level is from T4 and lower, but depending on your condition, if your ski level but have all the functionality or incomplete seat level, for those people you can take into consideration. And there's a huge list of inclusion and exclusion criteria you can discuss.
So the question was, is there a criteria for using this device? We have some of the criteria, and if you want to know that, it's actually on SuitX website, where we are actively taking test pilot inquiries to be able to use this device. Is there an age? There is no age limit. Other than 18, yeah, basically 18, an adult is our age limit currently. We can't work with children just yet.
Also, you have to bring a sign-up sheet, so you can sign up.
Yeah, I got a sign-up sheet here, so I'm really would like to.
How long does it take for you to put, pot on and say it down?
The question is, how long does this device take to put on? It literally takes me 4 minutes. We've timed it that fast to get everything on. And just myself. My leg braces are a little more intensive with straps. So depending on your leg braces, it could vary between 2 to 3 minutes. Basically, most of the time it's putting me on, as you saw me, was since you didn't watch me put on the leg braces, but it's mostly putting on the leg braces the majority of the time. This just goes on your back and plugs in. It's really easy.
So that was 4 minutes, including.
Yeah, including leg braces.
So he would have the leg braces on today, so that was, if he was actually doing it, probably take 1 minute or so.
Yeah.
It's a long distance to walk, and after you do that, do you feel any kind of pain or feeling different?
Question is how long have I personally walked in this device? Are you asking distance or just time? Currently, I've walked a long distance a lot of different times. We never measured them. Oh yes. In Italy, yeah.
We walk pretty much from 9 to 5.
Yeah, literally, I was literally walking all day long, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., doing tests and walking back and forth. There's a lot of repetitiveness, and I was definitely exhausted by the end of that whole entire thing, but yeah, so with the battery as well, the device can last all day. I've never run out of battery walking all day. We just were at an event we were there from 2 to to like 6:30, and I did not take the suit off once, and I was using it the entire time. Eating, walking around and talking to people and chatting with people.
So you keep standing up?
So the question is, can I eat standing up? As I just kind of alluded that, yes, you kind of can. Because the stability of the device, I can hand-free one hand, and that usually opens up for like a sandwich or something easy to eat. Pizza, something more finger food-ish, not a full-on sit-down like soup meal.
But then again, you can sit down with the suit on and say it back up.
Then again, yeah, I could just sit down in the chair at the restaurant, and then get on my business eating there, not even being impeded by the chair that I'm sitting in. Have I ever fallen is a question. Yes, I have fallen. I actually fell playing soccer. I fell playing soccer. Yes, I played soccer. In the suit, yeah. In the suit, yeah. That was actually a complication only because I had a very old prototype. I was wearing an old prototype, and something happened from that. It wasn't actually due to anything else other than that. And since then, I've never fallen.
Playing soccer is not a
Yes, that too. That too.
They wanted to mimic the natural gait of walking. These suits, have they relaxed their theory on making the suits mimic the form of walking?
So the question is do these suits, or there's an inclination to make these suits more natural form of walking, and where are we with that? Currently, this device is probably the most natural you'll see out there, just because of the properties that are involved. But we also have Bradley behind us, who has actually programmed the gait that you see today, to make it be as natural as it can be. We have some very slow-mo footage, 60 frames per second, with him walking behind me, and it's scary to watch his leg and my leg and how much they don't vary.
They spent a lot more motors in the previous models.
Yes.
Achieve that.
Yes, and now we've gone away from using all those motors and actually achieving that.
Still got that gait.
We actually achieve it more so than with more of the motors. Adding more motors and actuation just basically means more control of that specific gait. And really, everybody who walks doesn't control their gait at a very, 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 very small angles at any given moment. Nobody walks like that, which is why Rewalk, Exo, and Indigo look all very robotic while they walk. And this looks more like someone is walking and not where someone is being controlled by some awkward robot. So we're shooting for around 30 to 40, so about half the cost currently of Exo or Rewalk. And that also is just a very early number of basically, this is, we make like less than 1,000 number. If we make over that, that number will substantially drop. More, obviously, you get more cheaper, the more quantity, the cheaper the device will be at that point. And that's what we're hoping to achieve with this, is be able to get it to more people, get that cost down. Nobody wants, even still 30 to 40 is kind of expensive, but it's more reasonable at that point than 100. And it's more justifiable too. And we also are trying to push to get, to get the insurance code, to be able to have more insurance companies pay and help with this cost of these devices. That will come though after FDA first, then insurance companies.
How long do you expect that data to launch?
So
we just started preparing for this, with other small numbers and then bigger stimulus studies, which we plan to start in late December or January. So after that study, we'll finally take a bit of it and decrease in maximum 18 months.
So do you have phase 1 and 2 trials like a drug test, stuff like that?
So this is a medical device test, so we will have that just one.
Yep.
Are you going to IPO or SUMS?
IPO?
IPO.
like the company, I know you're,
Not yet.
right?
Frank would be the answer.
No, we don't anticipate that.
Like Exo, they went on stuff, they went to the road, plus network.
Have you walked outside by yourself without any of your team members with you?
I have a picture, we have a picture, in our office of me walking in front of the Colosseum of Rome with nobody around me. They were all about 10 to 15 feet away taking pictures of me, and, I was walking around there by myself.
You don't need anybody around you.
Huh?
You don't need anybody around. Or
So the question is do I need anybody around me with this device? This device, because, so the level of independence is raised with this device. We still are going to have someone, and it's still going to be the same kind of idea that ReWalk has pushed, where you have to have a trained person always by your side, in a sense, while you're using it. That's the level that ReWalk has established, so we're going to kind of just follow what they've done.
at least until you get FDA approval.
No, that's with FDA approval. That's with FDA approval.
There's a company only 35 timing next year user, and that's our accredited device that we will have to follow.
So you guys will be holding certification classes and training classes once this is market?
Yes.
Or how does that go about getting my,
Yeah, so we're gonna have a program for companion and user. So user has to be trained and companion will be trained all at the same time.
Yeah, it'll be a simultaneous deal.
You're walking on a smooth surface right now. You were talking about.
Colosseum of Rome.
Right. It's not smooth.
Yeah, it's
So
cobblestones.
How do you?
It was also wet. It was also raining. The navigation, honestly, surprised me. It was pretty easy. Like, super easy. Like, I thought I was walking like in here.
now have you walked on dirt, grass, gravel, rocks?
So, like I was saying, I played soccer, so I've walked on, not grass, but it was artificial grass. Yeah, AstroTurf. I haven't really walked on gravel yet. I've walked on dirt before, and carpet, yeah. Carpet is actually the worst. Carpet is the worst. Because it friction, but it also compresses too. And you start to lose your balance and yourself, in the carpet. Carpet's probably the worst out of all of the terrains that I've ever been on. Sand, I've never tried. I've actually been really interested in sand because it's, the foot is the best thing to go up for sand. It's just the crutch at that point. Is the crutch going to sink or what? Or do we kind of put snowshoes or something on the crutch? Something slightly wider for the crutch. But walking on different terrains, it's pretty easy. It really all depends on yourself, your self-being and your self-awareness. A lot has to do with your self-awareness. You can't just be meandering and looking at butterflies and keep walking and then decide you're going to...
Walking maybe just a couple more times, and then I'm going to shut off the webcast.
Yeah.
On the movie, so you get starting around.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely walk all sorts. Yeah, and as the night goes on, as you see, it's like riding the bike. I get better and better at walking every time. I've been using this device now for 4 years. 4 years. 4 years. I started... Class 2 classification for FDA approval. Yep.
So you can say, look at the camera and say goodbye. Thank you for saying.
Goodbye, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us and tuning in.